Communications and the chair of the Senate Judiciary Committee. Elected in 2014, Senator Brown uses her experience as a former Fort Wayne City Council member and her long history of community involvement in Northeast Indiana. Importantly, she brings her perspective of a mother of 7 to pro-life bills at the State House. Prior to the Dobbs decision, returning authority to the states, Senator Brown led on critical policies such as giving dignity to aborted fetal remains, chemical abortion reversal information, perinatal hospice, and banning inhumane dismemberment. She was a vocal leader in Indiana's effort to ban most abortions in the state following the Dobbs decision, which ultimately led to the closure of Indiana's abortion facilities. Senator Brown has been married to Dr. Steve Brown for over 40 years and is a proud grandmother, including to the newest grandbaby born just last week. She is a great friend of our organization. Please join me in welcoming Senator Brown.
It's an honor to be your keynote today, but I would be remiss without recognizing my fellow state senators and representatives who fought the fight before me. Many of them are here today, and the president of our Senate, our Lieutenant Governor Suzanne Crouch. So another great honor. The late Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg once said, "I think generally in our society, real change, enduring change, happens one step at a time." You didn't think I'd start with a quote from Justice Ginsburg. But here's the thing. True enduring change does take time. Changing laws, overcoming court challenges, and more importantly, changing hearts and minds. It takes time. It may take generations. It may even take 50 years. But when something is worth it, it's worth staying in the fight. And that's why you're here today. You're here because unborn children matter. You're here because women matter. You're here because life matters. We in the pro-life movement knew we were in for the long haul when the Supreme Court declared the so-called right to abortion, even through 9 months, over 50 years ago in 1973. The pro-life movement got its footing early on with these marches, literally one foot in front of the other, every year, and the marches grew, and our movement grew. Incredibly, here we are for the 50th annual march in Fort Wayne. Thank you, refusing to accept the status quo, for fighting to prove every life has worth. 50 years of declaring all life matters. 50 years of fighting to get the attention of the media, judges, and our elected officials, to make them pay attention and take notice, because we're not going away. And then we followed those marchers by taking the first steps to help all the compassionate men and women and churches who stepped up to start pregnancy centers in droves. The seeds that were planted in starting these pregnancy centers in the 1970s and 80s have grown very much fruit. Now a network of over 3,000 pregnancy centers across our country. They are saving abortions and sparing their moms and dads from a lifetime of breath, all while meeting their needs. It would have been easy for this pro-life movement to just give up after a generation of fighting. Abortion rates peaked in 1980. Here in Indiana, tragically, over 16,000 babies lost their lives in 1 year. Remember those early years? When Bill Clinton promised that abortion should be safe, legal, and rare? What if we believed him, trusted him? What if we just stayed home, stopped marching, stopped caring for women, stopped being all in for the long haul? But we didn't, because we knew you should never stop fighting for the unborn, because those in favor of abortion never give up, and we won't either. The legislation passed in the most recent generation of the pro-life movement shows that we've made incredible strides. We saw we could make a difference through policy making, and that's exactly what we've done. When I was first elected to the Indiana Senate in 2014, everything we did had to be done within the outdated confinement of Roe v. Wade. And I can tell you, every step, every bill we passed was a fight. The Supreme Court could not have imagined in 1973 that we would have 4D ultrasounds today that show the undeniable humanity of every one of those babies. That babies being born today at 22 weeks gestation not only thrive, but survive. Under Roe, we had to fight for every inch to do what we could to save those babies' lives and protect women's health. And thanks to all of you and your tireless work, your dedication through the years, boy, did we get some incredible work done in Indiana. The list of pro-life legislation we passed since 2015 is pages long, and I can tell you, no bill was easy, and behind every bill there was a fight. But every bill was worth it, even though the pro-abortion movement continues. We fought to pass laws banning dismemberment abortions, even when the other side denied they existed. We fought to make sure that aborted babies were buried with dignity, not thrown out in the trash. We're the ones who fought to stop sex traffickers from coercing women into abortions. The other side voted no. We're the ones who said all women could be safe and fought to inspect abortion clinics. The other side didn't care about health and safety standards. We stood with our parents and protected parents' rights, protecting their minor children from being manipulated into an abortion. And finally, we are the only ones who wanted to make sure women had all the facts about safe haven baby laws, perinatal hospice, and how abortion pill reversal works. We also know our work doesn't end when those babies are born, so we provided historic funding for the Real Alternatives Program in Indiana's pregnancy centers. We improved conscious protection for our healthcare workers. We expanded the safe haven law. The first baby box in the U.S. was installed just a few miles from here in Woodburn, Indiana, in 1960. Never lost sight of the welfare of women and children. All this hard work, each step we've walked since 1973 had paved the way for where we are now. On December 1st, 2021, I stood in the sidewalk of the U.S. Supreme Court as the justices heard the Dobbs case. I joined fellow female legislators from across the nation as I held a sign, this sign, that said, "Let this woman legislator from Indiana empower women, promote life." And that's just what we're doing here today. When the Dobbs decision came down, Indiana was able to do just that. If it hadn't been for our strong culture of life, all the hard work to pass all those pro-life bills, and tireless efforts of all of you in this room, we would never have been able to become the first state in the nation to pass a near total ban on abortion. We beat Planned Parenthood. We beat the pro-choice opposition and all the legal challenges, and now it is law. We are seeing lives being saved. In the month before the bill went into effect, there were 698 abortions in Indiana that month. In the month after, 14, a 98% drop. But we can't just celebrate Roe's overturn and Indiana's abortion rate drop and go home. You're here because you know more work needs to be done. We have to support Indiana's pro-life legislators and continue the fight to keep these strong pro-life laws. We cannot let our guard down. We must continue to be vigilant, tireless, and faithful. So, are you ready for the steps to take for the next 50 years? We need to prove to moms and dads that we are here for them. We will walk the journey with them, that they don't need to seek an abortion. Because we all know abortion facilities in our neighboring states are all too eager to welcome them. So I need your help. Media and abortion advocates will never tell you that we also passed Senate Bill 2 in 2022 when we passed the near total abortion ban law. That bill empowers women and helps families succeed. No one protesting in favor of abortion told you that we provided $87 million in historic new funding for tax credits and for those babies. We ended the sales tax on diapers, because really no parent needs to pay taxes on diapers. We doubled the adoption tax credit. We provided funding to address infant mortality, and we expanded the nurse-family partnership so someone walks alongside first-time moms through pregnancy and until the child's second birthday. We want to make sure all their needs are being met, and we are connecting our moms and babies to public and private resources that already exist. Because no woman should feel alone whether she's pregnant or navigating parenting. We're back in session in Indianapolis, and our pro-life work continues. It must. We're seeking transparency when abortions do occur to make sure rogue doctors are not ignoring the law. One of our priorities, legislative is addressing needed child care. We're focusing on making sure that Indiana is the best place to live, work, and raise a family. My pro-choice colleagues hate that Indiana has a thoughtful constitutional amendment process. They lie. They say we don't really support, that you all really don't support the pro-life laws. They want to allow ballot initiatives, like Ohio, to enshrine abortion rights, even up to birth. They say we don't listen to our constituents. We do. I do. And I'm listening to you today, all of you here, ready to march again for life. Because we need you. We need you to stay in touch. We need you to keep marching. We need you to keep speaking out. Because your Hoosier voices really do matter. We see national politicians stumble in their pro-life positions. We even see some pro-life states faltering. So Indiana has an obligation, a duty to lead. And I'm proud to say, in this Hoosier state, we put our pro-life values into practice. So, we will continue to support our nonprofit network of pregnancy centers, to bolster our state programs to improve maternal health and healthy infant outcomes, and to support the growing baby box network. We have over 100 boxes in Indiana, and 25 babies have been legally surrendered, ready to be placed in their forever homes. Conservative states, providing a model to follow as we work towards changing hearts and minds. When you step outside these doors today and make your way to the federal building, know that each step you take is part of a long journey, one that has required the dedication of generations. Each step takes us one step closer to changing hearts and minds and saving every mother and child. Because real change, enduring change, happens one step at a time. Others will follow if you are willing to lead. Now let's take this first step and another for the 50th year and counting and lead on this March for Life. Thank you all.